Okay, I'm down here at the courthouse. Just wanted to give a quick update uh, about the Diddy trial. So, we did hear from Brendan Paul finally. Okay, after how many days? We were supposed to hear from him last week, but what happened was one of the witnesses, one of the summary witnesses, ended up taking forever and ever and ever. So, and then obviously, you know that on Wednesday, okay, one of the jurors had vertigo, so they didn't make it. So, and then Thursday, which was yesterday, was Juneteenth. It was a holiday, so obviously, there wasn't going to be any court on that day. But a couple of things like really kind of stood out to me today. Um, One of them is the fact that, we were told, or it's the narrative was that Brendan Paul was like this big, substance mule, and he really, really was not from what I could see. According to according to the testimony, he only provided substances just like a handful of times. So he wasn't the big major plug. You know what I mean? But he absolutely did provide, um, Diddy with substances and stuff like that, but just a handful of times. And even the day that he was taken into custody, he was cleaning out. He was cleaning out the room, cleaning out a room, and there was a little bit of, flour. You know what that is, okay? There was a little bit of that in the room, and he packed it up and kind of forgot about it. So when they got to the airport and he was taken into custody, um, he was like, "Oh my God!" Like I didn't even remember I had that there. And the prosecution did ask, why did you say that it was yours? And he said, out of loyalty or whatever. But it wasn't like a whole bunch of substances. It really was not. Okay. Now look, were there other people who absolutely provided Diddy with a whole lot of that? Yes, absolutely. But Brendan Paul was just not the plug like that, from what I could see. Like, you know what I mean? So now another funny thing that he said was, they asked him, well, what ended up happening, with your situation after you were taken into custody? Like, how did you manage, And he said, well, I had a really, really good lawyer. I think he said I had a really, really great lawyer. And people kind of laughed in the courtroom. And he was like, yeah, they were able to get me into this program. And he took a bunch of, substance tests, all the time, all the time, all the time. And then he was able to get everything thrown out. So, but we knew this, right? But it was just funny to hear him say, I had this really great lawyer, you know what I mean? And he basically got me off, right? So that was that. There were a lot of exchanges a lot of text exchanges between Diddy and of other people that the prosecution wanted to enter into evidence. Some correspondence between himself and Christina Coram, which where the heck is she? Okay, I want to see her in the flesh. Okay, but anyway, so there were those exchanges, and then. Some of these text exchanges I do recall seeing already. There were some where Cassie was pretty much complaining to Diddy about his treatment of her and about how she is tired of him basically putting his hands on her, right? And there were a few text messages back where Diddy was basically like, you really need to be very, very grateful that you're in the position that you're in, so on and so forth. And she's kind of like, well, that's all well and good, but you don't have a right to put your hands on me, type of situation. Okay. And so that was the gist of that. The defense is going to put on some exhibits. I'm going to go live later and sort of really, really get into this a little bit, more deeply. But the defense is going to put on some. The defense is going to, I thought I heard something, child. It's always a circus over here. I'm in the corner over here on the side. It's just always such a circus in front of the courtroom, like in front of the courthouse. But the defense is going to put on some exhibits, so I'm going to rush back up because there's only a little 20-minute break, so we have to go back. It's a shortened day today. Everything's going to be done at around 1 o'clock, so I'm definitely going to go live earlier than I normally do. I usually go live in the evening, but I'm going to go live in the afternoon today. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. If I'm not mistaken, I think that there is going to be another summary witness today, and look, the prosecution might end everything maybe today. I feel like Monday by the latest. Okay, so the defense is going to put on their case. They said that they are going to take between 2 and 5 court days. So that's like really nothing. This jury is probably going to get this case. They're going to get jury instructions and all of that, right? But they might be deliberating by the end of next week. Okay, so this is all about to be over very soon. If you're not following me here on TikTok, please give me a follow. Okay, down here at the courthouse, just giving a quick update, and I will be live a little bit later. Enjoy your day, everybody.